Hello learners, welcome to SWAYAM online lecture series on database management system. Myself, Muhammad Ubidullah Bukhari, working as a professor in the Department of Computer Science, Aligarh Muslim Institute, Aligarh. I am pleased to have you join me today as we explore the fascinating realm of data, database and database management system. In the next few minutes, we will journey through function and trigger in SQL that form backbone of modern information system, which is database management system. In the previous session, I have discussed about advanced SQL, and I've explained with the taking different example of an advanced SQL. Before going to today's agenda, I would like to give the answer of the previous question which I have asked in the lecture. The first question was ORA 02291 is the foreign key violation error number. Handle this exception in a more user-friendly manner. You have to take a table for your choice. In that case, the answer is, in MySQL you have to write delimiter // then you have to create a procedure, create procedure, insert sales order details, then parenthesis you have write in order number is integer, in P number is integer, in quantity order is integer, in quantity order quantity dates integer, in rate decimal 10,2. Parenthesis should be closed. In this way, we can create a procedure. Then start the begin. Here you have to declare the appropriate data types. So declaration, foreign key condition for SQL state 23,000 within code we have to write. Here I have given the statement, declare variable with appropriate types. Here the comment statement you can write. Here there are 5 variables you have to declare. Declare order number integer, declare P number integer, declare quantity order integer, there quantity dates integer, declare product rate decimal 10,2. And then after you have to assign a parameter value to declare variables. Here set order number is equal to order number, set P underscore number is equal to P number, set quantity order is equal to quantity order, set quantity underscore DS is equal to quantity DS, set product underscore rate is equal to P rate. Then I will comment in this way you are able to assign parameter value to declared variables. Then you have to perform the insert operations. In our operation already you know, insert on sales order details, parenthesis order number, product number, quantity order, quantity display, product rate. Then you have write the values, order number, P number, quantity order, quantity DS, and product under rate. Then you have to handle foreign key constraint violation. It means how you write, you have to write declare, continue, handler for foreign key begin, select foreign key values, order number, product number do not exist in sales order, then product master from product master table int, and attempt to insert the values. Begin insert a value in the sales order detail table. How do you write? Insert into sales order detail, order number, product number, quantity order, and the quantity display, product rate, and then value, order number, P underscore number, quantity order, quantity display, and the product rate, and then end, and then it also must be closed. Then delimiter will be. In this way, we are able to handle this exception more user friendly. Here you have to call procedure. When you will call procedure, insert call, insert sales order details, and then you will put the value for that, and then you are able to get the results. The next question was using cursor find out the name of all clients. Here also same way I have given. First of all, you have to write delimiter, double you can say delimiter, and then you have to write create procedure, get client names, begin. Then you have to declare the variables same way. To declare done, in default false, declare client name varchar 100, declare here cursor for selecting client name, declare client number. So you have to here you have to declare client server cursor for select name from client number. So you have to here you have to define the select from the name, the table name you have to write client master, declare handler for when no more rows found. You have to write declare continue handler for not found, set done is equal to true. Then you have to open the cursor. How you will open client cursor, then start fetching rows. It will start fetching. When you will open, it will start fetching one row. So for that you have to write fetch client cursor into client name, then start the loop, my loop, if then if it is done, then leave my loop, and if then the output client name, select client number. Then you have to fetch the value. You have to write fetch client cursor into client name, then end loop. Then after when you will open, then here you have to close that. Then the close client cursor, then end, and then delimiters. In this way, you are able to find out the name of all the clients by using cursor. The third question is using procedure retrieve the entire content of the client master table. Here you have to write delimiter / create procedure get client master, then also begin. Then you have to declare the variables same way. Declare done in default false. Declare client ID integer. Declare client name varchar 256, and then add more variables as needed for other column. So you can add or declare cursor for selecting all records from client masters. This is a comment statement. Here how you will write declare client's cursor for select client number, name from client master. Then you have to declare the handler when no number rows found. How you write declare continue handler for not found, set done true. Open the then also same way you have to open the cursor, open client cursor. Then you when you will open it, it will start fetching. To fetch client cursor into client ID, client name, then fetch other column if needed. Otherwise, my loop is loop, exist if no more. So how do you write? If done, then leave my loop and if. Then after you want the output client record, what you will select? Client ID and client name. Fetch client cursor into client ID, client name and in loop. By this statement, we are able to fetch the next rows. And then after you have to close the cursor. So you write close client cursor, end. And then delimiter you have to write. In this way, we are able to retrieve the entire column content of the client master table. The fourth question was using PL/SQL, retrieve the list of name, city and the state of the clients, all the clients. So here in the same way in MySQL you have to write delimiter, /, then you have to create the procedure, create procedure, get client details. Then begin same way, declare done, integer default false. Declare client name varchar 256. Declare client city varchar 256. Declare client statement varchar 256. Then after you have to declare the cursor for selecting name, city and the state from the client master. Here also you have to declare client cursor for select name, city from client master. Then after declare handler when no more found. What will do? You have to declare continue handler for not found, set done is equal to true. Then after you have to open the cursor. Here till now you have to declare, then open the cursor. How you will open the cursor? So first of all it will start fetching the rows. Fetch client cursor into client name, client city, client status. Yeah, you can say client state. Then loop for the cursor. So my loop, then if done, then leave my loop and if. It means by that exit loop if no more rows are there. Output of a client detail, you can do whatever you need with the data. Dependent. Select contact, name, client name, city, client city, state and client state whatever. So here the fetch the one row, fetch client cursor into client name, client city, client status, client state and then end loop. Then after you have to close the cursor, close client cursor. In this way we are able to retrieve the list of all name, city and the state of the client. The last question was using PL/SQL, find the name of salesman who have a salary equal to 3,000. For that same way you have to write delimiter, /, create procedure, find salesman underscore with underscore salary underscore 3,000. These are procedures and then parenthesis close. Then also same way begin, then declare done, integer default false, declare salesman varchar 256 and then after you have to declare the cursor. It means here the declare for selecting name from salesman where salary is 3,000. So declare salesman cursor for select name from the sales master where salary is equal to 3,000. Then declare the handler when no more rows found. How you will declare continue handler for not found, set done is equal to true. Then after you have to open the cursor. So you have to open salesman cursor, you have to define. Then start fetching. The fetch statement cursor into sales number name and my loop, colon loop. If done, then leave my loop, and if it will closed. Then for output of sales name, you have to select concat sales man name, sales name, and there is a next fetch the row. You have to write fetch salesman cursor into salesman name and loop. Then you have to close the cursor. So you have to close salesman cursor, then end, and then you have to write delimiter. In this way, we are able to write program. If you will run, it will give the name of the salesman who have a salary equal than 3,000. So today's agenda is to function. First of all, I will discuss about the function. Already explained about the procedure. The function in the procedure will not return the value. In function, the basic difference that function will return the value. The example of functions. Then after we will discuss about the triggered. Depending on the situation, it will triggered. I will detail will be discussed later on. And the example of triggered. Okay. So next, start function. The functions are subprograms that perform a specific task and return a single value. PL/SQL functions can be used to encapsulate business logic, calculations, and data manipulation operations. In MySQL, you can create a stored function using create function statement. So here the same way create procedure, here you have to write create function and function name. And then parameters, same way you have to create procedure, in the same way you have to write, and then the return here. The main difference is the return types, then begin execution sections, then perform operations, calculation or logic you have to write, then the return a value and return value and end. This is the syntax of that, and you have to write in PL/SQL of functions. So let's break down each part of the function. The first is create function. This statement is used to create a new stored function in the database. Next is function name. This is the name of the function. And then parameters, there are the input parameters that the function accepts. Parameters are optional. And the return types, this specifies the data types of the return. Then begin in these keywords begin and end. These are the keywords begin and end of the executable part of the functions. Then execution section, this is where the actual logic of the function is implemented. Operations, calculations or any logic can be performed here. So these are the functions part. The last is the return under value. This statement return the value computed by the functions. The return value must match the data type specified in the return values. So in this way, we are able to, I have explained very well how you will create a function. In the create function, you have to put the name and then the parameter, it is optional. Then you have to return the data types, and the begin end is the begin in the SQL part of the functions. There are the keywords, execution sections, and the return values. For that, we'll take some example of function. Calculate the square of number written in MySQL. Same way, already explained, you have to write delimiter, /, then you have to write here create function. Before we have create procedure, here create function, calculate a square root. Within process you have to, a square number is integer. then returns integer. Begin, declare, you have to square result integer, set a square result is equal to number in multiply by number integer. Then return a square result, end, then delimiter. Then you can call this function in MySQL query like this. Select, calculate a square 5 when you write, select a square 5 when you can, if you want to call for procedure you have to call, but here for function you have to write select, calculate a square, then the name of the function is calculate a square, and put the number should be integer. Here I 5, 35, you can say 6, 7, whatever. When you look at 5, as a result you will get 25. I will explain with the examples. One question you have to write a function or a stored procedure which takes a date and display it the day. Sunday, Monday, it will take the date and display the day. So for you can see on the screen in MySQL you write delimiter slash, then create function get day of a week. Within parentheses you input the date, a date. Return value a varchar 20 is also variable. Then begin. You have to statement declare day of the week is varchar 20. Set day of a week is equal to day name within parentheses input underscore date. Return day of a week, it will value that. Then end. When you paid, it will show the OK. And then SQL delimiter, then semicolon. So when you will call a function, you have to write in MySQL select get day of a week. Suppose you enter the 2024,000 1st March as a day of a week. Then as a day work is a like alias. When you press, it will display day of the week is Sunday. In this way, we are able to run program. The next example is a function, write a function or stored procedure for simple calculation of a two number. Calculation may be multiply, division and multiplication, division and subtraction. So here same way you have to write create function, simple calculator, num1 decimal 10,2, num2 decimal, and then operation is char 1. Then declare the results decimal 10,2. Then the case here you can use a case statement which I have already explained in the previous lecture. When plus, then set results num1 plus num2. When minus, set the result num1 minus num2. When asterisk multiply sign, then set result is called number multiplied by number 2. When slash, then if number 2 is equal to 0, then set result is equal to null. Else set result is equal to num1 divided by num2. And if else, set null, set result to null for invalid operation, such case. In this way, we are able to find that case. So here, if you in the call function, select simple calculator, 10, then number integer, 0, and you want operation of division. As division result, when you press division result is equal to not null, because something is divided by 0. In this way, we are able to write a function. I hope you will use on your system and run and try to write more program. Next lecture we will discuss more. Also, I have taken one third example. Write a function to check whether the number is prime or not. Already you know about that, how you will write a program. Same way you have to write a create functions is a prime or not. So then the return value is the boolean. Here the return value is boolean, yes or no. Then begin, declare one is called integer, declare a square root number, also integer. If num is equal to and less than 1, then return false. The number less than or equal to 1 are not prime number. And if. Then we start set is equal to 2, it starts from 2. Suppose we will take the number 25. Then the square root is 5. It means loop will go 2 to 5. If equal, then it will check, it will divide or not. So 2 is less than equal to a square root number if num modular 1. If num modular I is equal to 0, then return false. If the number is divisible by the number either by 1 or itself, it is not a prime number. And if set I is equal to I plus 1, loop will go continue till it will up to n, a square of a number, a square root of a number. Then the return value, if the number is not divisible by any other number, it will go, and when you will call to select is prime 7 as a prime number, you will put 7, then it will show yes, a boolean is 1, true or false. If you want to drop all the functions, so in MySQL you have tried drop function. If exist is prime, you can drop by this statement. To create a function in MySQL that checks if a number is Armstrong number, also known as narcissistic number or planetary number, is a number that is equal to the sum of its own digits, each raised to the power of a number of digits. For example, I have taken an example, Armstrong number. Suppose 153 is Armstrong number. Why? 1 ka power 3 cubic, 5 ka cubic and 3 ka power cubic. 1 ka cube is equal to 1, 5 125 and 3 cube is equal to 27. When you will add all this number, it will become 153. It means this number is Armstrong number. Next, 407 is Armstrong number. You have to check 4 ka power cube plus 0 ka power cube plus 7 ka power cube, 64 plus 43, 407. However, the number like 1, 2, 3 are not Armstrong number. 1 ka power 3, 2 ka power 3, 3 ka power 3, 1, 8, 27, 36, which is not equal to 136. So it is not like that. In the MySQL, all you write create function is Armstrong num integer return boolean. Begin, declare original number integer, and then you have to declare the sum of cube integer default. Also you have to declare the digit integer, the declaration part, then set the original number is equal to num. Then you have to go the loop. If number is greater than 0, so set digit is equal to number modulo 10. Set sum of the cube is equal to sum of cube plus power digit comma 5. Set num is equal to floor number divided by 10 and while, and it will return the original number sum of cubes. Then n, when you enter, how you write for call, you have to write select is Armstrong 153 returns 1 through is Armstrong 53 is equal to 1. If select Armstrong 123 return value 0. In this way, I hope you are able to understand the function, how to write function, how a function is very useful. And then the next topic is trigger. Trigger in MySQL are database objects that are automatically executed in the response to certain event occurring in the database. Depending on the event, if event occurred, then trigger will be happen. These events can include anytime insert, delete, update operation on a specific table. So in that particular table you want to update if the employee has added for that is and join the course whatever. So in this way the trigger. Some basic syntax of a creating trigger in MySQL are SQL create trigger, trigger name. Then you have to write before or after, insert, update, delete on the table name. For each row, you have to write begin. Then trigger body, you have to write SQL statement to be executed when the trigger fires. Then you have to write end. Let's break down each part of a trigger of a certain statement. Trigger name, this is the name of the triggers. Before, after, specify whether the trigger should be executed. Before, after the triggering event, insert, delete, update. Insert, update, delete, specify the key of events that will trigger the execution of the triggered. On table name, specify the table name on which trigger is associated, and for each row, indicate that the trigger will be executed for each row affected by the trigger event. Begin and end is the keywords, the marking beginning and end of the keys. Inside the trigger body, you can include any valid SQL statement such as select, insert, update, delete, and other data definition language. Here is an example of trigger that automatically updates the timestamp column last updated in the table product whenever a row in the table is updated. For that you have to write create trigger update, last update, after update on product for each row, begin set news dot last updated is equal to now and end. Now is the current date. In this example, you have to write update, last update is the same as of the triggered. After update, specify that the trigger should be executed after update operation. In this example, update underscore last underscore update is the name of the trigger. After update, specify that the trigger should be executed after the update operation. On product, specifies that the trigger is associated with the table. For each row, indicates that the trigger will be executed for each row affected by the update operations. Then you have to write set new dot last underscore update is equal to now within parentheses is the trigger body which updates the last updated column in the product table with the current stamp now. I mean to say that you have to write current time is time. Within parentheses you have to write now. Then parentheses will be closed for each row affected by the update operations. And last, the trigger provides a powerful mechanism for implementing complex database logic and enforcing data integrity constraint in MySQL database. However, they should be used judiciously as they can introduce overhead and complexity to database operations. So we have taken one example for trigger. I hope it will be very clear and you are able to understand how to write a trigger. To write a trigger for unique constraint, whether a value is inserted or updated in a column, it checks whether that value already exists in that column or not. For that, you have to write in the same way you have to write delimiter, /, then you have to write create trigger T2 before insert on product master. It means before insert, it will check the trigger, it will check. For each row, begin, declare, check integer, and then check if the product number already exists, then select count into check from product master, where product number is equal to new dot product number. If check is greater than 0, then you have to signal SQL state is equal to 45,000, set message underscore text is equal to product number already exists. In this way you have to write. Then end if, it will be closed. Then the loop begin in will be closed. Then you have to double parameter and then delimiter. In this way, you are able to write a trigger for unique constraints. I hope you will be able to understand the functions and procedure. Today I will discuss in detail about the trigger and functions. It is very important and this is an advanced SQL statement. We will test your understanding by giving some thought-provoking questions. Try this question as an assignment. The first question which I have given is the write a function to check number is spelled wrong. The next is you have to write a function to check a number is even. Write a function to find the area of a triangle. So area of rectangle. The next question is to find a function to find the factorial of a number. The last question is write a function that read the record from the sales order details table using cursor and tell the delay between the order date and the delay date. Delivery date. In our exploration, we have investigated the intricate world of advanced SQL statement. I hope you will enjoy this exploration. Thank you once again for active participation. Wish you a wonderful day ahead.